On 10 November 1659, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj killed Afzal Khan and defeated his huge army at Pratapgad fort. It was an event which changed the course of history. We will analyze the events that led to the Battle of Pratapgad, the strategies and tactics used by the both sides, and we'll see how Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj defeated Afzal Khan. Do watch the video till the end. Post in the comment box if you know about any other general before Shivaji Maharaj who had used such similar tactics. The year was 1565. The Bahmani Sultanates in Deccan came together and waged a battle against the Vijayanagar Empire. The Vijayanagar Empire was weakened in this battle, and the power in Deccan was under the control of the 5 sultanates: the Barid Shah of Bidar, the Qutub Shahi of Golconda, the Imad Shahi of Berar, the Nizam Shahi of Ahmednagar, and the Adilshahi of Bijapur. Conflicts between the sultanates always existed, and after the battle against Vijayanagar, the Adilshahi conflicted and won over Imad Shahi and Barid Shahi. In subsequent years, the Adilshahi kept fighting in Karnataka and gained control over most of South India. In 1636, the Adil Shah conspired with Mughals and waged war against the Nizam Shahi. The Nizam Shahi was vanquished, and Shahaji Raje Bhosle, the general who was practically the head of Nizam Shahi, emerged as the most prominent general and warrior of that time. Shahaji Raje was welcomed by Adil Shah and was conferred the Jagirs of Pune, Supe and Bangalore. Shahaji Raje settled in Bangalore and sent his wife Jizabai and younger son Shivaji Raje to Pune to administer the Jagirs. In 1646, at the age of 16, Shivaji Maharaj revolted against Adilshahi and started winning over forts and territories in Pune and Konkan region. By 1656, Shivaji Maharaj carved out a kingdom for himself in Pune and Konkan with the help of the Sahyadri mountains, guerrilla warfare tactics, and brave and skillful warriors called as Maure. In first half of the 1650 decade, he defeated Fateh Khan at Battle of Purandar and expanded his kingdom till Shirwar. Adilshahi now saw him as the biggest threat to their power and called meeting of their generals. In this meeting, Afzal Khan took responsibility of defeating Shivaji Maharaj. Afzal Khan in the last decade had established himself as the most powerful general in Deccan. He had even trapped the then Mughal prince Aurangzeb in a skirmish. Afzal Khan had a history with the Bhosle clan. In the past, he had conspired with Adilshahi Wazir and had arrested Shahaji Raje. It was only after an intervention and pressure on Adil Shah by Shah Jahan after request of Shivaji Maharaj that Shahaji Raje was released. Afzal Khan had betrayed Shivaji Maharaj's elder brother Sambhaji Raje in a battle at Kanakgiri in Karnataka. Afzal Khan had promised Sambhaji Raje to provide backup but purposely withdrew, leading to the death of Sambhaji Raje. Shivaji Maharaj was waiting for an opportunity to avenge these incidents, and now that opportunity presented itself. Afzal Khan, famous for his might, his ability to win wars, was also known to be a good administrator. But at the same time, he was known to have given false promises to his opponents and then betrayed them. He was feared all around for his cruelty and ruthlessness, and he called himself as Butchikan, the destroyer of idols. Afzal Khan gathered his huge army in Bijapur and started off his campaign against Marathas. He was aware of the tricky Sahyadri Ghats, dense forest and guerrilla tactics used by Marathas, and hence he was reluctant to directly enter the Sahyadris. He wanted to fight a battle in open, and hence instead of going in the direction of Rajgarh in Pune, he turned his way towards the temples of Turzapur and Pandharpur. Turzapur and Pandharpur are the most prominent temples of Marathas, and Afzal Khan intended to hurt their sentiments by destroying and looting these temples. The destruction of the temples did anger Shivaji Maharaj and his people, but they knew that they cannot win a war against Afzal Khan in open land, and so they showed restraint and waited for the right opportunity to strike. Afzal Khan realized that his tactics had not worked as he expected. He started off in the direction of Shivaji Maharaj Kingdom. He came to the southeast frontier at Vai near Satara. From Vai, Afzal Khan sent his representative Krishnaji Bhaskar to Pratapgad to Shivaji Maharaj's court. Krishnaji Bhaskar asked Shivaji Maharaj to avoid a war against the mighty force of Afzal Khan and asked him to surrender. He put forth Afzal Khan's proposal that in return of surrendering his kingdom, Afzal Khan would recommend the Adilshahi to grant Shivaji Maharaj Jagirs and high posts in Adilshahi kingdom. Shivaji Maharaj agreed to this proposal without hesitation. He expressed his embarrassment for the disloyal actions he had carried out against Adilshahi in past decade and was ready to pay for his actions by surrendering to Afzal Khan. Shivaji Maharaj put forth his only condition, and that was Afzal Khan should come to Zawri at Pratapgad, where a meeting will take place between the two, in which Shivaji Maharaj would surrender. Shivaji Maharaj even sent his representative, Pantaji Gopinath Bokil, with Krishnaji Bhaskar to convey this proposal of surrender to Afzal Khan. Shivaji Maharaj's tactic here was to lure Afzal Khan to come to Zawri and Pratapgad, which was Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's stronghold. He also wanted to convince Afzal Khan and his men that they have already won the war without even raising a sword, which would make them complacent and put them off guard. Pantaji Bokil met Afzal Khan and conveyed Shivaji Maharaj's message and told him that Shivaji Maharaj was very embarrassed and was also afraid to come and meet such a mighty general like Afzal Khan. Pantaji Bokil told Afzal Khan to come to Zawri with his huge army. He told him that a small Maratha troop won't even dare to fight against such huge army of Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan was convinced with Pantaji Bokil's words and, sensing an easy victory, agreed to come to Zawri. Pantaji Bokil, while staying in Afzal Khan's camp, smartly spread the word about Shivaji Maharaj's surrender, convincing them that they had already won. Afzal Khan reached Zawri. He came from the Rattundi Ghat, a very steep ghat route surrounded by dense forest, and Afzal Khan and his huge army had to go under a lot of hardships to come to Zawri. Shivaji Maharaj had erected a big tent for the meeting below the Pratapgad fort. A night prior to the meeting, Shivaji Maharaj sent his troops under stewardship of Netoji Palkar, Tanaji Malusare, Prataprao Guzar, Hambirrao Mohite in the dense Zawri forest. Its troops silently encircled the troops of Afzal Khan. Shivaji Maharaj's men knew the Zawri and its surrounding area very well. Afzal Khan and his army were unaware of Maratha forces encircling them. The terms for meeting were determined beforehand. Both men would carry their weapons. There will be 10 men of both sides at a certain distance from meeting place. Out of the 10 men accompanying Afzal Khan, 6 of them are known to history. They were Shankaraji Mohite, Pilajiraje Mohite, Pahalwan Khan, Rahim Khan, Abdul Sayyid and Bada Sayyid or Sayyid Banda. The 10 men accompanying Shivaji Maharaj were Kataji Ingre, Yesaji Kank, Kondaji Kank, Jiva Mahala, Sambhaji Kauji Kondhalkar, Surji Katke, Krishnaji Gayakwad, Visaji Murumbak, Sambhaji Karwal and Siddhi Ibrahim Khan. There are multiple accounts of events that took place during the meeting. One account says that a sword fight ensued between the two. Shivaji Maharaj defeated Afzal Khan in the sword fight and killed him. Another account, which is more prominent, says that the two men embraced each other and Afzal Khan tried to stab Shivaji Maharaj with a dagger in the back. But his attack failed as Shivaji Maharaj was wearing a protective armor. Shivaji Maharaj quickly attacked Afzal Khan in his abdomen by a knife and tiger claw. Afzal Khan was heavily injured and started shouting. The men on both sides, standing at distance, rushed into the tent. A fight ensued between the two sides and all of Afzal Khan's men were killed by Marathas. In this fight and commotion, the injured Afzal Khan tried to escape, but he was caught by Sambhaji Kauji Kondhalkar and was beheaded. Shivaji Maharaj and his men quickly rushed back to the fort and asked to blast cannons. It was a signal to the hidden forces to attack the Adilshahi troops. The Marathas initiated the attack. The Adilshahi forces were stunned by this sudden attack. They were convinced that they had already won. The Maratha charge was very fierce and it was intensified by lack of preparation of Adilshahi forces. Soon the news of Afzal Khan's death spread in the camp and the troops panicked. They started running helter-skelter and fled in the forest and rushed back via whichever way they could. They dropped all their war equipments, materials, animals in the forest while fleeing. The huge Adilshahi force got completely routed. The Marathas gained huge amount of war material, war animals and wealth. They also gained a lot of self-belief by this huge victory. Shivaji Maharaj started off the very next day with his forces in the direction of Bijapur. By this great win and killing of Afzal Khan, Shivaji Maharaj's name was feared all around. Shivaji Maharaj captured a huge area just by this wave of fear. His kingdom expanded multiple times. At the start of the video, we had asked if there was any other general before Shivaji Maharaj who had used these tactics. In the 15th century, Rajesh Shirke of Konkan had used the same tactics used by Shivaji Maharaj against Malik-ut-Tujjar, a general of Bahmani Sultanate. Was Shivaji Maharaj aware about this history? Had he learned these tactics from this history? We do know that in his childhood, Shivaji Maharaj was told about the stories of Sri Krishna and Sri Ram. He was greatly inspired by the history of these two great men. But did he know about Rajesh Shirke? Did he know about Sun Tzu, the great Chinese warrior who had written The Art of War? Some of the principles of war mentioned by Sun Tzu were used by Shivaji Maharaj. So did Shivaji Maharaj know about history? We do not know. We can only infer. We hope you liked the video. To hit like, share this video with your contacts, comment below and do subscribe to the channel. We have made a similar video of a battle at Vasai between the Indian forces and the Portuguese. Click here to watch.